Tabu kathamritam tapta jivanam kabibhidiritam kalmashapaham Shravanamangalam Srimadaatatam Bhuvi Grinanti Ye Bhurida Janaha Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. O Lord, your gospel is like nectar and bliss showered upon the pain-stricken lives of suffering humanity. It dispels all the sins and misdeeds of life. It brings spiritual welfare in life, the spiritual beauty and prosperity and grace spreads through and through one who listens to your holy message. They are the real givers in the world who preach and pronounce the nectar of your message to the suffering humanity. Om, peace, peace, peace be unto us all. So we are back to our reading of the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, page 919. And we are just discussion in the Sampukur house. Sri Ramakrishna in health condition is so bad, and Dr. Sarkar came and visited, and then Dr. Sarkar left. And then Sri Ramakrishna continued with other devotees talking about all the spiritual truth. The last time he said, what is the talking about the Bhagavad Gita? Sri Ramakrishna said that essence, the Gita, whose essence is the renunciation of lust and goal, renunciation of attachment to lust and goal. How can a worldly man has not renounced lust and gold teach others? So who have not practiced in their life, they cannot preach. Therefore, perhaps people didn't understand that they drift up the words, and it is to be practiced by one, then his words will be valuable. Now that discussion ended, and now Sri Ramakrishna was thinking about the welfare of his devotees. Purna and Manindra were two of his young devotees. He sent Manindra to talk to Purna. So it was evening, a lamp was burning in Sri Ramakrishna's room. The devotees and visitors were sitting at a distance. The master was introspective. Those in the room were also thinking of God and sat in silence. So it's a grand environment. You can just imagine that Ramakrishna in his Sampukur house, sitting over there, perfectly calm in the evening, and in that calmness he is silent, and all the devotees who are sitting over there, they are also enjoying that silence and in a meditative mood. A few minutes afterwards, Narendra entered the room with a friend, whom he introduced to the master as an author. So Narendra entered into the room. His home is very close to this Sampukur, walking distance. And he brought always, he used to bring some friends, always. And he's a writer or author, writer of a book maybe. Sri Ramakrishna talked with him about the metaphysical significance of Radha and Krishna. The author said that Radha and Krishna were the supreme Brahman. Vishnu, Shiva, Durga and the other deities had sprung from them. So, Narendra's friend is an author of a book, maybe, and he's talking about the metaphysical significance of Radha and Krishna. And his opinion is that Radha and Krishna were the supreme Brahman. All other gods and goddesses are sprung from them. Master, that is good. There are different aspects of Radha. In her seductive aspect, she was Chandravali. In her aspect of love, she participated in Sri Krishna's Leela at Vrindavan. Nanda Ghosh, Krishna's foster father, had the vision of the eternal Radha. So, he's saying Radha, that's called Maya, no? Mahamaya, in the form of Radha. She has different aspects in the whole world. One way she seduces, another way she gives liberation. So different aspect according to, both are necessary probably for the state of mind in which a student is there. So Sri Ramakrishna says that Chandravali, she was the seductive aspect of Radharani. In her aspect of love, same Radha participated in Krishna's Leela at Vrindavan. No? And so first is the seductive Radha, then the Radha of love. If you go further, you will see the eternal Radha. Radha has three aspects. As you look at the whole world, first we get enamored with the world and try to find joy and peace here. Then you turn, no, not here, in some other aspect of divine, no? We go to temple, churches or worship. Here, Radha's aspect Ramakrishna is talking. One is the attractive aspect, which makes us forget the world and get involved into the world. Then after that, that same Radha plays in a role of a love, pure love, unconditional love. And that ends into the love which is eternal, a Satchidananda love. So love is actually, that's why it's called, if we can bring our thought into that idea, that there is one Ananda, Brahmananda. But Brahmananda can be perceived in the Vishaya Ananda, through the senses, through the sense objects. The good food, good thing to see, anything, whatever is attractive to our senses, through that way to find joy. That is the first stage. And then when one develops more and finds that that joy is not tenable, it is not permanent, it is not satisfying, then they turn towards something higher. Bhajanananda. Then they go and singing, temple, dancing, singing. Even they're still not very deep into that. So next stage is Bhajanananda. That means you think of God as love and you want to unite with Him, to pray and do all these things. The Bhajanananda. Vedanta analysis falls also. For a Vedanta student, Vedantic analysis is his bhajan. Devotional people can sing, chant, dance, that is their bhajan. Meditator can meditate, that is the bhajan. We can extend that thought like this. And then ultimately one is engrossed in that bhajan, means is prayer and devotion, or in analytical path, whatever, or meditation. When it gets matured, then he forgets himself, he forgets whom he was meditating. So those two join together. Absolute oneness of the self and the divine, the Ananda. That Ananda is Brahmananda. So Ramakrishna divided this Ananda in three stages. Here also, if we look from that perspective, Radharani can be considered one aspect, Chandravali, that's the attractive aspect, as seductive aspect, and then runs into the Radha aspect, aspect of love, that's also Leela. And then that transcends into a state where it is called the eternal Radha. So Nanda Ghosh, Krishna's foster father, had the vision. He saw Radharani, how? As the eternal Radha. That means eternal substance, absolute, unchanging, absolute joy, embodiment of that joy. No? So that is the eternal means it never dilutes, or it does not get contaminated with, again, worldly touch of worldliness. So first is the seductive Radha, then the Radha of love, and if you go further you will see the eternal Radha. It is like taking off the layers of an onion, one by one. First the red layers, then the pink, then the white. Afterwards, you don't find any more layers. Such is the nature of eternal Radha, Radha the absolute. Absolute. There the discrimination following the process of not this comes to an end. See how it matches with Bhakti and Jnana. Huh? These are the very fine places we have to read this Gospel. Whenever we read Gospel, really it throws new light. We thought that Bhakti, Radha, dance, Krishna, this is only devotional. And Ramakrishna is presenting it is total not Advaita. You start from the world where you are, and then you move from there, seeing the non-eternal aspect, move towards the love of God and our love for the self, and then you move on and on and on, and then everything drops, and what remains? Thou art that. And there no world, nothing of the attraction, nothing of the repulsion, all duality has vanished. So, first the seductive Radha, as we know, we are all Maya. In the Maya we are all in the darkness and groping in the darkness, as it were. Yeah? We know so many things, but we cannot follow that because of our this play of the Maya, seductive aspect. If you go further, then you will be gradually reach that point to love aspect, to the eternal love, absolute love. And that eternal love is nothing but Brahman. What do you say? Brahman is what? Absolute, absolute existence, absolute consciousness, and absolute bliss. When you say absolute bliss, you understand these other two aspects are already there. Ananda is the very subtle aspect. You see, we eat food and this and that, but Ananda is felt very subtle way. You can see the light here. There is a bulb. We can see. Bulb is there. Existence. Bulb is luminous. Consciousness. And it has also heat. But I don't feel the heat here. To feel the heat, you have to go very close. There should not be any separation. If this is the tool. What is the tool? It is the mind tool. When the mind moves deeper into the consciousness, and then it reaches absolute Ananda. That Ananda is unchanging. So, even this is a gross example of giving a bulb, lighted bulb. So consciousness, penetrating into consciousness, I am conscious of that reality and going further deep. A point will come when one will lose his own or her own identity. And then you will be totally feeling the heat. Ananda, Ananda, Ananda keval. She Ananda tumyo hevun. Oh my brother, you are that Ananda, you are that bliss. We are always there. Now at this point we are all Ananda, all joy, all bliss. But no one understands that. Because of this play of the Maya in twofold aspect. One is the most attractive aspect, which forgets everything and dilutes totally. One layer is peeled up, the onion peeling up. Panchakosa. Thakur is talking about Radha 3 stages. It is like instead of 5 in the analysis, it is 3. You peel up, then you find the seductive aspect is gone. Then you go to the inner structure, love aspect for the Lord comes, and then that also peel up. Then what? Ananda aspect it remains. And that is the eternal aspect. That's why Jesus said that once you realize God, you will not lose that. You will be established in your bliss. And what type of bliss? Everlasting bliss. This is no word. This is the testimony in the life of the world teachers, Buddhas, Ramas, Krishnas, Ramakrishnas, Holy Mother. If you find them, it is unperturbed by anything. It has no value in their life because they are established in the bliss. That's why it is said, what type of ananda you know? When one realizes God, what happens? It says that it is phuti phata ananda. Phuti, it's a very Bengali word. Phuti phata ananda. Phuti means what? One type of antelope. And when it ripens to the best, people in India, they do that. They bring it from the tree and put it and wrap it with the leaves in four sides, so that it bursts, it will not fall all around. But when it perfectly ripes, it just bursts out and all the white things come out from inside. So Sri Ramakrishna, when he used to go into Samadhi, puti phata, as if it's bursting on the outsurge of Ananda, and as if you are irresistible force of Ananda manifesting all around. No? See when Ramakrishna's hand is like that, see the face? It's a wonderful thing to meditate upon. You don't find anything but Ananda there. And Swami Vivekananda, this Ananda is you. Ananda, Ananda, Ananda Keval. Only there is Ananda and bliss. No? Ananda dhara bahiche bhuvane. Rabindranath Tagore's song, Ananda dhara bahiche bhuvane. Day and night, it is all flowing, irrespective it is a day, it is night. It is all this distinction to us, but it is the flow of the bliss, it's just flowing. Ananda dhara. Anandati kulu imani bhutani jayante anandena jatani jivanti anandang prayanti abhishang vishanti iti. Upanishadic sages are replete with this thought of ananda, ananda, ananda. Anandati kulu imani bhutani jayante. All this created universe comes out of ananda. Creation comes from Ananda, joy, bliss. Though Vishaya Ananda, true limited, but this comes to the Ananda. Anandena jatani. We are all living because of Ananda. I got Ananda or I shall get Ananda. Today I didn't get, I'll get it tomorrow. I expected this thing and that will make me happy, but I didn't get it, I'll get it tomorrow. Anandena jatani means everyone, after being born, they live on the ananda or expectation of ananda. No one can live in the world and in the body for one day if they has neither getting ananda or expectation of ananda. I didn't get it today, I'll get it tomorrow morning. I'll go this thing and then I'll feel ananda. I will catch this material, I'll be Ananda. I get it lottery and then $1 million, I'll be Ananda. Either they got Ananda or expectation of Ananda. That's Ananda. Anandena jatani jivanti. And we die actually in the Ananda. Die means when the I ego, my ego, which was pursuit of Ananda, going running, it dies. Collapses, then it is only Ananda. So that is the spiritual significance of Radharani, perspective of Vedanta. Sri Ramakrishna's, this one, I think if great writers like Mahendranath can create a philosophy here and can write a good book here. If you take it really seriously, can compare with Panchakosha and this and that, no? And how peeling up this thing and the aspect of the joy of God percolates, how it percolates and takes. And philosophically it can be well established with so many documents and arguments, no? But Sri Ramakrishna, see how spontaneously balances. That's called the incarnation of harmony. Unparalleled in the history. Never you will hear this type of comparison leading to the samadhi. And that samadhi is the nirvikalpa ananda. Absolute ananda. Absolute ananda is nowhere. Unless you are totally destroyed, your ego, totally dead, then you cannot think of ananda, the absolute. All relative. Even you are having a vision. You see Ma Kali today, or you see Narayana today. It's a vision. But that's you are there, object is there, subject is there, and your tool is there. What is the tool of seeing? Through your pure mind you are seeing. To the impure mind I see these things. When your mind becomes pure, you see the same thing differently. Distorted glass, eyeglass, gives the distorted picture. Things have not changed anything, but it gives the distorted because my eyeglass is wrong. My mind is the eyeglass here. My mind is distorted. When it becomes clean, that's why you chant every day, we chant, no? Chant the name of the Lord and His glories every day, no? Unceasingly, not every day. Not every day. Every day, morning and evening, I did japa. No. It is unceasingly. There is no cessation. Continuously thinking of God. That the
mirror of the heart
will be mirror of the heart will be wiped clean. And this glass will not give a distorted, concave or convex picture of the reality. So, that is make the eyeglass clean. Then this whole world which is seductive will appear to be full of love. And then you go, love itself and not you, not me, not the world. That is the culmination of, yesterday we were talking about three states, Jagrot, Sapna, Susupti, Turiya. We are talking, this is in parallel, you can say, this is the experience in the world, and then mind becomes finer. Second stage, where you feel the love of God and God's play going on. And then play, whose play? That player, everything merged into that absolute non-duality, which is Ananda, Ananda.
But Lord, who is there to taste that bliss?
No testing. Test you can do so long you are in duality. That's the Bhavamukha is the testing ground, last testing ground. Then you collapse.
Then no one is there to enjoy.
If you come back, then you will enjoy. That's a big question. One time I saw that Swami Prabhupada was put this question. That, what is the joy? Suppose if I merge, where is my joy? So he gave an example. Suppose you are reading a book. You are reading an interesting book. And you cannot take out your eyes from the book because so much but a feeling of your experience of joy is coming. No? Now, that is joy, you are enjoying. Suppose you forget the environment, you forget any person around you, your own body, you are so reading and you entered into the subject, totally lost, totally outside. Is it better enjoyment or less enjoyment?
Better, but I'm enjoying it.
So, we cannot say it is enjoyment because who is enjoying we do not know. But that is the highest enjoyment of being there itself. Because I am Ananda, what to enjoy? If you in your pocket you are $1 million, so who will enjoy $1 million? You, it is you. So there is no two to enjoy enjoyer. But in all this we have to understand, in spiritual life we pay too much attention. Oh, I saw a light. I saw mother coming. Yes, of course. It's much higher development, no state of mind. But it is also duality. It is also duality. It is in a pure state of mind you see those divine things. Impure state of thing. See our dreams. Someday you go to a holy place and temple and there is some kirtan going on, bhajan going on, you see some dreams. Someday you see a terrible dream, some tiger running after you and you are running into escape yourself, climb up a tree and then this again the tree, So it is all your mind. So both case mind is playing. One is one type of mind versus another type. But it's my mind. But you have to get out of the mind. So, but mind becomes pure and pure and pure and pure. It's called the Bhavamukha, means the threshold, where the absolute on this side and the creation, God, Saguna Brahma, down to the entire world is this side, and that side is the infinite self, where to merge. It is called the threshold, bhava mukha. In that mukha, Ramakrishna said, Ma, oh mother, don't make me unconscious, no? Don't make me steep into samadhi, fall down into it. Huh? But I want to enjoy. I will talk, bhakti bhakta. I will be living with bhakti, devotion, and with bhakta, the devotees, to talk about your glories and enjoy. So, enjoyment ends there.
That's Bhajanananda.
Bhajanananda much lower.
Oh.
It is Brahmananda.
So,
Just merging into Brahmananda, the mind moves on. At that time also there is a feeling, I am enjoying, no? And that enjoyment will come through you to all the body, no? Every body, Sri Ramakrishna, our Upanishad says, Ananda, we are searching for little Ananda, no? What is the greatest Ananda in the world? Sensual Ananda. And Upanishad says, sensual Ananda? What nonsense you are talking about? Sadhu, sad, juba, sadhu. They gave an example that you, suppose a person of pure character, youthful, healthy, strong, mentally strong, physically strong, full of cheerfulness, full youth, he is Ananda. What is the Ananda of that guy? Oh my God. Many of us will fail there because he is a strong guy, feeling good and mentally established in life as it were in that youthfulness, and he becomes the king of the country. What will be his joy? Multiply 100 times of that joy. Then that becomes pure, and then he rules the whole universe. Then he is Satriyo, Abrijino, Akamahata. He is not Buffett, and he studies the scriptures and Vedas and understood its meaning and gets more absorbed. Like that, they have multiplied 100 times, unfathomable joy, to give an idea. Ramakrishna said, in every pore of your body, how many pores are there in the body? Lord means how much? 1 billion, 1 trillion? More. But in every pore you will feel the sense enjoyment, million times that. Lokhogun. Proti romkupe ramanasuk. One will feel and experience the sense enjoyment in every pore, not 1 unit, 1 pore, 1 unit, no. In every pore, million times of that joy. What this worldly joy? How can he be attracted to that? It's such a divine joy. It's so, that's why no. Even the holy bodies, that's why spiritual practice is necessary. If that happens, it breaks the body. Then cracks their brain. This body is not fit to carry higher emotion, higher joys like that. So, with little eating, little sleeping, little this, we feel, I am so happy. It is Ramakrishna gave the example. That there are rats used to come in a store, paddy grain store, and there are rice, what is called, silos. There are silos stocking the rice, and what happens? The rats, if they get into it, then it will pollute the entire stock. So the owner of the stock, they bring out some of the paddies and throw outside. Before entering to silos, they can come, rats will come and chew, one piece. I am happy, let me go ahead. And he will be happy and he will go away. He will not enter into the infinite store of food where he can live whole life, and his children, their grandchildren, their grandchildren will never be able to finish it. Ma has, this is called Mahamaya, have put something like that. And we go and we chew one thing, I got it, I'll come next time and take the whole stock in my home. No. So this is the thing, this is called the play of this duality. So duality, when it comes, closes, then so that joy, if one gets a touch of that joy, he will be mad. That's why he cannot live in the world. That's why those who go into that joy and remain there for 21 days, they cannot come back again into the body. That tremendous place of tremendous experience of joy, and one gets stuck there. Ordinary sadhakas had no capacity. But for those who have not gone to that depth, they may come back by prarabdha or God's will. Jivan Mukta behaves. We'll be reading next book is Jivan Mukta, Jivan Mukti Gita from January. Yeah? No. It is not very known, very well known. But in Gita is 100 types of Gita. So we find out one Gita. There she is talking about Jivan Mukti only Jivan Mukti. So that is the point. When absorbed in the consciousness, he cannot tell anything what is going on. When he comes down, again enters into the mind level. Suppose mind is merged and it lost its own capacity up to this point. But there is a trace of mind. And here is the infinite joy. So what happens? That infinite joy, you get a glimpse of that joy. When you again enter here, you cannot say when you go in, you cannot say anything. But when you come in, then you are with the same level of mind, you are passing through most fine to the coming down to the gross. So it percolates, that ananda percolates. Then people say, ha, ha. Upanishad says, ha, bu, ha. Ha, bu, ha, what is this? It is no Sanskrit. It is no Sanskrit, it is no Italian, it is no Bengali, no Hindi. Ha, bu, ha. They say, when he comes back, he only says, ha, 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 ha. So much ananda, so much joy, how to express that? He could not express in any language. So he only says, ha, bu, ha. That is ananda. But how they can say? That is the question. Yeah. They cannot say when they are totally merged into it, but when by God's grace, by their own prarabdha or whatever may be the reason, God's will, they come back again and enters to the same layer of mind, down. Then that joy, infinite touch of joy, he remembers that. Because he is entering to the mind level, and mind has 4 characters. Mind, intellect, ego, and remembering faculty. So there he starts remembering, I went there, a great joy, joyful place.
How can? There's no mind in the absolute. How can the mind retain the impression?
It's just at this point there is mind. Mind is there up to here, downgrade to this point.
Okay.
When you cross this level, then you are in nirvikalpa. But before that you are in the bhavamukha. That is, Thakur used to stay most of this time here. His plane was here. That's why she, with little something, seeing some boy standing under the, monument in Calcutta. A little bend. And 3 bend, and he remembered Krishna and went into Samadhi. He went to zoo and then found that lion. And looking at the lion, who is who rides on lion? But it is Ma Jagadhatri, Durga. And singing Durga, gone to Durga. And Durga the form, to the Durga the infinite. So he is so fast in moving there. In one lifetime, Totapuri says, I got 40 years and got one time this nirvikalpa. Ramakrishna is getting nirvikalpa morning, evening, noontime, whatever in time, no problem. So going to nirvikalpa is nothing for him. But to keep the mind here is the problem. So, anyhow, so it is like taking the layers of onion one by one. First red layers, then the pink layer, and then the white. Afterwards, you don't find any more layers. Such is the nature of eternal Radha. Radha, the absolute. There the discrimination follows the process of not this, comes to an end. Yeah. Neti neti viramo jathai. There, viramo means end. Or your analysis, not this, that is ananda. This is not ananda, that is the ananda, no? That stops there. There is no more to go. End of journey. There are two aspects of Radha Krishna. The absolute and the relative. Two aspects is there. Ramakrishna says, one aspect is the absolute aspect. Radha is there, eternal Radha, eternal Krishna. And another is the relative. They are like the sun and its rays. The absolute may be likened to the sun and the relative to the rays. So sun and its rays are, wherever there is sun, there is the rays. So wherever Radha is there is the rays as also the sun itself. So Radha and Krishna merges into one, that is the sun itself, absolute. But this is also Radha in expression, like the rays of light. A genuine bhakta dwells sometimes on the absolute and sometimes on the relative. A genuine bhakta is talking about himself, as it were. We hear from Sri Chaitanya. He used to go like that. In the history, I do not know, I have not read, I do not know. This type of expression of going to Samadhi and coming back, Ramakrishna's life we find, and next we find Sri Chaitanya's life. He used to go more moment to moment in ecstasy, and totally his body will make a dead body. And he'll lose all outer consciousness. So genuine bhakta, he's talking, not genuine bhakta don't mean that we fall in that category. We are bhakta, but we have our other agendas also. But genuine bhakta means who does not want anything, like Ramakrishna. Here, example is of that level. That's why he says genuine bhakta dwells. How he dwells? He does not come to seductive Radha. He only lives in two levels. One is the absolute Radha, another is the Ananda Radha. So here he says, a genuine bhakta dwells sometimes on the absolute and sometimes on the relative. Ramakrishna always switching. But that relative does not mean he does not see anything but God. In his expression when Ramakrishna is walking, eating, sleeping, no. He's not in the relative plane as we think this world. In the Ramakrishna side, everything is permeated by the divine consciousness. Bolchen, Jagotta jore ache. It is very difficult to explain. Jore thaka means, here you don't find such things. Salt. If the salt, you keep it in a container, and it is rainy season, continuously, you will find that watery, it becomes watery. In the watery aspect of the Chaitanya jore ache bolchen, this whole world is permeated, interspersed, like the cloth. This cloth is nothing but interspersed thread. Is there anything but thread? No, it is only thread. And thread interspersed, but we call it a cloth. So, the whole world, Ramakrishna said, it is like thread, interspersed, interwoven, and the consciousness is the ingredient. There is nothing but consciousness. So, both the absolute and reality belong to one and the same reality. It is all one, neither two nor many. So, a genuine bhakta, the man of realization, totally who have lost their identity into God, they live this way that they live sometimes they live in the absolute aspect, in samadhi level. Sometimes they come back and then in the relative level. They look like us, they eat like us, They may be talking like us, but their entire consciousness is totally different. They live in another level of consciousness. Then this writer, who was the Naren took him to introduce to Sri Ramakrishna, that author is saying, "Sir, why do they speak of the Krishna of Vrindavan and the Krishna of Mathura?" There were two types of Krishna, no? Krishna of Mathura is the king, royal king. His gesture, posture, his ruling the country is something different. And when you go to Vrindavan, it is a Prema Radha. The Radha and Krishna play, that is so pure love, innocent play, and pure love, interaction of pure love. But when you go to Krishna, the king, there is a different perspective. So why there are two types? People talk about that. Master, that is the view of the Goswamis. But the scholars of Upper India think differently. According to these scholars, there is only Krishna and no Radha. The Krishna of Dwarka is not associated with Radha. So this is another opinion. Ramakrishna, how did he know? It's like a scholar he is talking here. He is talking here, Master said, that is the view of the Goswamis. Goswamis means those who are playing on the dualistic aspect of God. And Goswamis are Sri Chaitanya, Nityananda and their followers. So these Goswamis, they are very highly established people, but the scholars of Upper India means northern India, no? They think differently. What they think? It is Goswami's thought. But the others are thinking differently. How they think? According to these scholars, there is only Krishna and no Radha. The dual play, they don't accept. The Krishna of Dwarka is not associated with Radha. So that's why they are not associated with Radharani. Anyhow, the author says, "Sir, Radha and Krishna are themselves the supreme Brahman." Master, that is good, but you must remember that everything everything is possible. Everything is possible for God. He is formless, and again he assumes forms. He is the individual, and he is the universal. He is Brahman, he is Shakti. There is no end to him, no limit. Nothing is impossible for him. No matter how high the kites and vultures soar, they cannot never strike against the ceiling of the sky. If you ask me what Brahman is like, all I can say that it cannot be described in words. Even when one has realized Brahman, one cannot describe it. If someone asks you that the ghee is like, if someone asks you what ghee is like, your answer will be, ghee is like ghee. The only analogy of Brahman is Brahman. Nothing exists beside it. So it is said that don't limit God. Every person says, if God is infinite, how can it be finite? If God is absolute, then you will say it is limited. How can it be? Yes, for you and me it is impossible. But in the God's realm, everything is possible. Otherwise you are restricting the power of God. If you say God cannot do that, He is not God then. He is like us. We do something, we cannot do something. If you say God and demon are two entities, then demon is equally powerful like God. So there is the problem of the Christian dualistic idea that if you say God has created the beautiful world and Satan has come and always poking to disturb his creation. No. That means Satan is so more powerful than the Lord God. Huh? And he is creating so much noise in the world, and God is sometimes failure. God does not want that, but demon does that. Satan does that. So you are making two parallel powerful people. But Vedanta says no, there's only one. You only take it in which direction you want to take. Dark side or the right side. There's Kama Radha or Prema Radha. So he says that yes, Radha and Krishna are themselves the Supreme Brahman. Yes. But you must remember that everything is possible for God. People sometimes put this very question, how this contradiction is possible. How this contradiction is possible? Contradiction is possible, say, you take a grain of this piece of wood and go and break it to subatomic particle. What you find in it? It is a tiny grain of wood. If you can break it and it go to the subatomic level, it is a tremendous energy. This whole earth can be blasted out in a second. It is true. How it is possible? How in the tiny, I am not saying modern science is telling. You go to atomic structure, electron, proton, and then go neutron, positron, etc., and go. And now they have brought out what is called Higgs boson particle. Higgs boson particle is a tremendous energy. It's in a microscopic subatomic level. I understand big sun, big stars, they are big, I understand that. And here, how can you say it is God has created, it is possible, it is impossible? Impossible for you and me to think. For God, everything is possible. That's called the Maya. Impossible, possible. What is the definition of Maya? It is only to say it is that which is impossible, it is possible. He makes it possible. Therefore, he is formless. Again, he assumes the forms. There is no end to him, no limit. And he gave a beautiful example. Nothing is impossible for him, no matter how high the kites and vultures can soar. You release the kite, no? Kite play in the beach side we saw here. It happens in the Pacific coast. But can you release your kite? Can it catch the sky? You go, how much you go? Sky is endless. You will not get any chance to kite to go further. So you cannot hit the sky any time. So you don't try to limit God. What is God? I know, I define. Then you don't know. Upanishad says, Jasyamatang, who is thinking that he knows, he does not know. He who says, I don't know anything, he knows everything. Meaning not to equate with the fools, but he's talking about the Brahmagyanis par excellence, who will say, I do not know. I cannot say. I cannot limit him. I cannot say what is that reality. No, he knows the truth. Suppose you ask someone, Pandit, what is Brahman like? And he's quoting from 20 Upanishads and Gita and scriptures and quoting and making a big, powerful lecture. He has not understood anything. Because you are talking through your intellect. So you are describing the indescribable. Who knows? You ask him and he becomes silent. Cannot speak anything. If you speak, then you limit. Any description is a limitation. But how can you describe that infinite which is indescribable? So that's why it says the vultures can soar high. Your kite, you can let it go into the sky. But can it touch the roof of the sky? It's endless. The sky is a word you are talking about. Yeah? There is no end of it. no matter how high the kites and vultures soar, they can never strike against the ceiling of the sky. And then Ramakrishna said, if you ask me what Brahman is like, all I can say is that it cannot be described in words. If you ultimately say, what is Brahman like? Ramakrishna says, I'll have to say this much, that it cannot be described in words. That's why, avang manasa gocharam. Or bak. Bak means speech. Manaso, mind. Your speech cannot describe it. Your mind cannot fathom it. It is beyond the ken of the measurement of the two instruments. One we speech, to the speech we express, another the mind we understand. So these two tools are worthless there. It is, as I was saying yesterday, you take a foot scale, and someone asks you to measure the distance from here to sun. Suppose there is a bridge, you can go. Take a 1 foot scale and measure 1 foot, 2 foot, 3 feet, 4 feet. Go on and measure how big is it. By that, only measuring that way, you will be gone, your calculation will also go. You will be lost. So in Atman, in Brahman, this person who is trying to fathom, that person will also get lost. And there is no identity of ego. Jasya matang tasya matam. He who has understood, he has understood. Matang jasya na vedasa. Those who have not understand, matam jasya, giving a view, this is this, na vedasa. If you know that, then what you know it is. He says, I know, you don't know. He who says, I do not know, he knows. Meaning, it is genuine talk, not in a lecture platform or you can ask me, have you seen God? I can say, yeah, Brahman is all Ananda. That will not do. If you say so, you have not understood it. Because you are talking from what you learned from books and trying to express that through your words. But it is an experience, you will be stunned in Ramakrishna. Talking about something, Chidananda, there is a song in the Gospel, and singing that song, the one word came and he stood. That is the Ananda. You have experienced, here is Ramakrishna. He cannot, question of experiencing, discussing, does not come. But then you can say, why you are reading it, who is Ramakrishna talking like that? He has come down to very low level for our good of the humanity, to give a little glimpse of this idea. Otherwise, this type of discussion, even in these Upanishads, you cannot get. Very subtle things explained in Ramakrishna's language becomes much easier. That's why Swamiji said, you have to read the scriptures, the Vedas and Bibles, they have to be read in the light of Ramakrishna, through the telescope. This is it's a telescope, through the lens of Ramakrishna, because he, in his life, all experiences, all types of feeling, vision, everything has come up. The world religion, all the people, all tradition have experienced. He has experienced in his own life. If someone asks you what ghee is like, your answer will be, ghee means clarified butter. It is very delicious, no? When they cook, that day, I say, oh, this rice is good. Then I came to know that they have given ghee. But what is ghee like? Ghee is ghee. What can you say? So, that is God is God. Ananda is Ananda. What is Ananda? It's Ananda. Who can say what? The only analogy of Brahman is Brahman. Who is Brahman? Yeah, Brahman is Brahman. Nothing else exists besides it. Okay, thank you. So we end here. We read this page in January 1, 2005.
Wow.
See how I read Gospel. One page, maybe once a week. So as a result, it takes how many months and years. Anyhow. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat Sri Ramakrishna Arpanam Astu.
What's the difference?
Remember?
What's the difference between Bhajanananda and Brahman?
Bhajanananda and
Brahman.
Brahman. Oh, Bhajanananda, Ananda you are enjoying then. Brahman is that Ananda, no enjoyer enjoyable.
So Bhavamukhi?
Oh, Bhavamukha means in the spiritual journey, they normally people cross that level and go into the merging. There is a marginal point, when the Saguna and Nirguna, the junction point, so there too, if one can stay there, we say that he is in the Bhavamukha.
And so he's tasting Bhajanananda or Brahmananda?
Brahmananda.
He's tasting Brahmananda.
Yeah, because this is the Ananda. He is standing here. This is the Ananda. Thakur's example. 3 friends were, or 3-4 friends were going, and there is a big wall. And suddenly they saw big smile and laughter and merriment is going on. So these 4 of them, they get interested. So somebody said, hey, what is going on? So we should have to find out. So they made a pyramid like that. And then one climbed on the wall, a high wall. And as soon as he saw the outside joy and ecstatic, blissful place, he said, ha 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 ha, and fell down. He lost. So who will come back to give any report? Then the 3 friends, they got really upset. Then he said, you now go. So they selected another friend to climb, and then he went there and he saw the mart of joy is going on, and then he turned his face towards, he's standing on the threshold, turning the face towards the audience. He said, oh, what a great joy, this going on, that going on, described a little bit. That means description is not possible for ordinary sadhaka. But if they come down, after Jivan Mukti, they can say. Okay, so...
Savikalpa Samadhi, or the threshold of Savikalpa and Nirvikalpa Samadhi?
Which one?
Bhavamukha.
Bhavamukha is Savikalpa and Nirvikalpa.
Okay.
Junction point.
Oh.
Savikalpa ending, Nirvikalpa is the state. Acha, ha. Tomorrow was Swami Mahajogananda's class, but I will keep the class on Karma Yoga. Did I give the other day any class, Karma Yoga? No. No. Okay.
But for the joy, the ha-bhu-ha, the joy, only after one tastes samadhi can one have that.
Now in going into that joy, when they are trying to express, they get really so much absorbed into that joy, and then normal expression comes, ha, 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 ha. That way when you know language stops there.
But if a man goes into samadhi, does he know he went into samadhi?
When he comes back,
He knows. When he comes back, he knows that was
he
samadhi.
of course.
How does he know it's not just the deep meditation?
Hare, again you are forgetting. Here is the mind starts here. Now our mind is gross mind. Mind refine. A point comes where the mind almost not mind. Mano amana bhavanti. Mind becomes mindless. So how the mind, the thick mind is thin, and comes to a point where there is no mind, almost gone. That is called mindless state. So long the mind is there, perception will be there. But he is perceiving not the world, perceiving only Ananda, the bliss, Satchidananda. You call it in whatever name you talk. And that Ananda is like, see, I am here, I don't feel the heat. No? If you let me move, this mind is moving like that. Here is the light infinite. And go, and touch it. And you can merge it. It cannot go further because it's too reality. Mind when it becomes thin, it becomes amona. It gives us this characteristic of the mind. A thief, when gives us the characteristic of stealing, will you call it thief anymore? A professor, teacher, when he gives us his teaching job, could you call it professor? And emeritus, that's a different thing. But you don't talk. You are cooking. When you are not cooking, you are walking in the street. Shall you say, hey, cook? Do you say that? No. So it is the question of that the expression comes with the action. But that is done here. Mind, gross mind, coming close to the consciousness, coming. And when it comes, my fingers are becoming bright. It keeps, and when it touches, if it could have merged into the light, then that will be the state.
I see. Then when he comes back, he says,
Again he is coming back, then he again gets this mind here.
I see.
And then mind becomes thicker. Ramakrishna said, when Ramakrishna used to go to Samadhi, to pull his mind down, he used to say, I shall drink water. I shall eat something. No? But he will not eat. But he is keeping the desire to pull the mind from the absolute to the relative. Baba, we are trying every day to see to little thing of God, and mind does not go there. Mind goes into Boston, Harvard. Your Harvard people are Harvard. Going to all the places in all the corners. My friend, my enemy, my this and that. Where is God? And Ramakrishna, he is trying to pull the mind down. Vivekananda, he used to feed him, young Noren, all the bad people brought with so much desire food, which is a negative vibration. He used to put him. Why? To bring his mind down. Otherwise he will not do mother's work. This Vivekananda, what we got, he would not be in here. He will be in Samadhi. Boom. So to put his mind down, all the people, Ramakrishna cannot touch this because his finger will start breaking, bending. The scorpion bite. He feeling scorpion bite and he is giving that poison to Noren. He loves him very much. But to pull his mind down so that he will be working for the world, working for the suffering humanity. So this is totally different. They are not, they are called avatar. That's why in our tradition, Swami Vivekananda is called the avatar, incarnation. And Ramakrishna is avatari, from whom all the avatars descend. People will say it is too much personalized Guru Bhakti, no? But no, Swamiji was very rational. But to understand Ramakrishna in the depth is very difficult. Okay, so we end here then. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Peace, peace, peace.